Sunrise on the Reaping. I made about half a chapter in and sort of gave up. So that's where we're at. I do have like a receipt, there's a bookmark somewhere, but I can't find it, so we'll find out later. But till I find it, I'm using a Pokemon card for my bookmark. I don't want any judgment, please. This is a judgment-free zone. I will start reading. Part 1, The Birthday. Happy birthday, Image. The upside of being born on reaping days, you can sleep late on your birthday. It's pretty much downhill from there. A day off school highly compensates for the terror of the name drawing. Even if you survive that, nobody feels like having cake after watching 2 kids being hauled off to the capital for slaughter. I roll over and pull the sheets over my head. Happy birthday! My 10-year-old brother Sid gives my shoulder a shake. You said be your rooster. You said you wanted to go to the woods at daylight. It's true. I was hoping to finish my work before the ceremony so I could devote the afternoon to 2 things I love best: wasting time and being with my girl, Lenora Dove. My mom makes me indulge in either of those a challenge, since she regularly announced that no job is too hard or dirty or tricky for me, and even the poorest people can scrape up a few pennies to dump their misery on everyone else. But even the dual occasion of my birthday, I think she'll allow for a bit of freedom as long as my work is done. It's the game makers who might ruin my plans. Hey Mitch, wails it. The sun's coming up. Alright, I'm up too. I roll off the mattress onto the floor and pull on a pair of shorts made from a government issue flour sack. The words "Commissary of the Capital" ended up stamped across my ass. It says both. My mom wasted nothing. Widowed young, when my pa died in the coal mine fire, she raised Sid and me by taking in laundry and making every bit of everything count. I'm so sorry, my loves. I'm so sorry, my loves. I did not mean to interrupt. The hardwood ash of the fire pit saved for lye-soap. Eggshells get ground up to fertilize the garden. Someday these shorts will be torn into the strips and woven into a rug. I finished dressing and so sitting back in his bed. He burrows right down into the patchwork quilt in the kitchen. I grab a piece of cornbread and upgrade for my birthday instead of the gritty dark stuff made from the capital flour. Out back, my ma already stringing a steaming kettle of clothes with brick. Her muzzles strooping as she flips a pair of miner's overalls. She's only 35, but life's sorrows already cut lines into her face like they do. Ma catches sight of me in the doorway and wipes brows. Happy 16th, sauces on the stove. Thanks, Mum. I find this span of stewed plums and scoop some onto my bread before I head out. I found these in the woods the other day, but it's a nice surprise to have them all hot and sugared. Need to fill you up for the census today, Ma says as I pass. We've got cold running water, only it comes out of this thin stream that would take an age to fill a basket. There's a special barrel of pure rainwater she charges extra for because the clothes come out softer, but she uses our well water for most of the laundry. What with pumping and hauling, filing the census, a 2-hour job even with Sid's help. Can't wait until tomorrow, I ask. I'm running low and I have a mountain of wash to do, she answers. This afternoon then, I say, trying to hide my frustration. If the reaping's done by 1, and assuming we're not part of this year's sacrifice, I can finish the water by 3 and still see Lenora Dove. soothing if it wasn't for the scattered cries of children being chased in their dreams. In the last few weeks, as the 50th Hunger Games has drawn closer, these sounds have become more frequent. Much like the anxieties I had worked hard to keep at bay. The second quarter twice as many children. No point in worrying, I tell myself. There's nothing you can do about it. Like 2 Hunger Games in 1. No way the outrage of the reaping will follow. So, don't think that I missed. Don't let yourself panic. Don't give the capital that. They've taken enough already. I follow the empty cinder street to the hill with the miners' graveyard. A jumble of rough markers spiked the slope. Everything from headstones with carved names and dates to wooden boards with peeling paint. My pa's buried in the family pot. A bunch of Abernethys is with one limestone marker doing for us all. After a quick check of witnesses, no one's here much. And certainly not at dawn. I crawl under the fence into the woods outside of District 12 and begin to trek to the still. Pouring white liquor with Hattie Maney is dicey business, but it's a picnic compared to killing rats. or cleaning outhouses. She expects me to work hard, but she works hard herself, and even though she's never seen 60, you can do more than a person half her age. There's a lot of groundwork involved. Collecting firewood, hauling again, taking in the full bottles and trotting back to the empties to be refilled. That's where I came in. I'm Addie's mule. I stop at what we call the depot and bare patch the ground, concealed by the drooping boughs of a willow tree where Addie drops off supplies. 2 25-pound sacks of cracked corn are weight, and I swing one over each shoulder. So I just checked, there are 22 pages in this chapter, so I'm only going to read 11. I'll do half a chapter a day, or so. Hope you enjoy the reading. It takes about half an hour to reach the still where I find Daddy tending a pot of mash next to the remains of a small fire. She offers me a long-handled wooden spoon. Why don't you give it a stir? I drop the bag of corn under to lean to where we keep supplies and raise the spoon in victory. Wow! A promotion! Me being allowed to handle the mash is something new. Maybe Hattie's starting to train me to become a partner one day. 2 of us brewing full-time would increase output, and there's nothing more demanded than she can meet. And there's always more demand than she can meet. Even for the eye-watering stuff she makes with the capital grain, particularly for that, since it's cheap enough for the miners to afford. The good stuff gets brought up by disorderly soldiers, peacekeepers, that is, and the richer folk in town. But bootlegging illegal 10 different ways, and all it would take is a new head peacecopper who didn't like a stiff drink himself to land us in the stocks, or worse. Mining stuff work, but they don't hang you for it. While Hattie packs pint bottles of white liquor into a basket lined with moss, I squat down to stir the mash on and off. When it's cooled some, I pour it into a deep bucket and she adds the yeast. I'd set the mash into the lean too, so it can ferment. She's not distilling today, since she doesn't want to risk the smoke attracting attention if the mist burns off. Our local peacekeepers may turn a blind eye to Hattie's still and her stall at the Hop, an old warehouse that serves a black market, but she's worried their capital counterparts in the low-flying, cloaked hovercrafts will spot us from the air. No rolling in the bottles today either, so I'm tasked with chopping firewood for the week. When the pile's replenished, I ask what else needs doing, and she just shakes her head. Hattie's endangering herself to me by throwing in a tip sometimes. Not with my wage, which she pays directly to my mother, but by slipping me a little something in the sky, on the sly handful of grated corn I can take to Lenore Duff for her geese, a packet of yeast I can barter with at the hop, and today a pint of white liquor for my own use. She gives me her broken-toothed grin and says, "Happy birthday, Hamish. I figure if you're old enough to make it, you're old enough to drink it, and I have to agree, and so I'm not drinking myself. I'm glad to get the bottle. I can easily sell it or trade it, or possibly pass it on to the Nordau's uncle, Clark Clement, so that he might have a kind of opinion on me. You'd think the son of the washerwoman would be harmless enough, but we Abernethys are known rebels back in the day, and apparently we still carry the scent of seduction, scary, and sedition in equal parts. Rumours spread after our father's death. Rumours that the fire had not been an accident. Some say he died sabotaging the mines, others say his crew had targeted by the capital's bosses for being a pack of troublemakers. So it could be my kins the problem. Not that Clark Carmine has any love for the peacekeepers, but he's not one for yanking their chains either. Or maybe he just doesn't like his niece running around with the bootlegger, even if the work's steady. Well, whatever the reason, he rarely gives me more than a terse nod, and he once told the Nordauff that I was the kind that tied you up, which I don't think he meant as a recommendation. Yet he yelps as I impulsively give her a hug. Oh, enough of that. You still sparkle in that coffee, girl. I'm sure trying, I say, laughing. Don't bother her then. You're of no more use to me today. She dumped a scoop of crack corn into my hand and slowly shooed me away. I'm gonna call it a day here. I've read 5 pages. I will continue on with 6. I will post this tonight, and then my next post will be on Saturday or Sunday. It just depends on what my schedule looks like this weekend. There is something in my book. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Guys, there's something in my book. I really hope you can't hear what I'm listening to with my headphones, because it's very unusual.